Shalom everyone. So today we're going to be discussing Parshas Lecha, which is the beginning of the tests of Avram Avinu. From here on, we're going to be discussing Abraham, Avram, 10 generations from Noach to Avram. And Hashem appears to Avram and says, Lech, Lecha. You have to be prepared to go. And we learn from Avram Avinu onward, we are learning lessons about our own life. The hallmark of these Parshiot is Maasei Avot, Siman Lebanim. The things that our forefathers were able to contend with give us signs, they teach us the strengths that we too have. And so Avram is told, Lech, you have to be prepared to journey, to go. Lecha, you're going to attain yourself, you're going to get to where you have to get to, and I will bring you blessings. I will bring you the realization of your potential when you go to the place I will show you. And so Avram starts traveling with all the people that have joined his compound, men that he has taught about monotheism, and women that his wife Sarah has taught about monotheism, and they all start traveling. And Hashem doesn't tell him where he's going. He's traveling until he reaches the land of Israel, which is called the land of Canaan, the land of the merchant. And when Avram gets there, he realizes these people are different. These are people I can talk to. And he shows up in the land of Israel and he establishes an academy, Vayikra B'Shem Hashem, a place where he can teach people about monotheism, about God. Avram's been doing this since he was 3 years old. The Meiri writes he was a child prodigy. At 3 years old, he can convince everyone about monotheism. But they're not so into listening in Iraq or Babylon or Aram of that time. But in Israel, the land affects them. It's a spiritual land, and it's in this land that Avraham can have a following. And when he reaches to Israel, all the dreams, all the promises of Hashem do not come true. Avraham finds himself in a famine. He left Aram, a wealthy man, and now he finds himself losing his businesses. He must emigrate yet again down to Egypt. And this is another test in Avraham's life. We know Avraham had to deal with 10 tests. Here Hashem promised us it's going to be good. And Avram shows up to Israel, and the opposite happens. The first famine in world history. And Avram's greatness, he does not question Hashem. He says, Hashem knows what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing, but he knows what he's doing. So he goes down to Egypt. And when he gets to Egypt, they say, ooh, such a beautiful wife. That's not for you. Well, Avram says, she's my sister. So they take her to King Pharaoh, and it is the night of Pesach, the 15th of Sivan, of Nisan. And everyone's celebrating. All of Egypt is celebrating. Avram's at home. He hears all the music outside. They're celebrating. Pharaoh got a new wife. What's Avram supposed to think? God, you promised me. Things are going to be good. You're going to be blessed. You're going to have children. And the exact opposite. He's lost his wealth. He's lost his wife. So Avram spends that first Pesach praying. And in the morning, Pharaoh comes back begging. He says, I got plagues all over my house. God is hitting me and my family and my servants. Take your wife, go. And he gives Avram and Sarah so many gifts, he hasn't dared be intimate with her. And Avram and Sarah start traveling back to Israel. This time they're loaded with wealth, all the gifts that Pharaoh gave them. When Avram gets back to Israel, so his nephew Lot, Sarah's brother, his shepherds start fighting with Avram's nephews, with Avram's shepherds. And Avram has to deal with this hardship. You're my only family. I thought I'd have family. But Lot is dishonest. He's stealing from the people of Canaan. And Avram says to Lot, look, we can't continue like this. I'm not going to fight with you. So let's just split. I won't be too far away from you. And then Lot makes the abhorrent decision and he says, I will go live with the Sodomites. I will go live with the people who, we know where the Sodomites did. Cruel people. They wouldn't allow any guest to enter their territory. Immoral people. That's where Lot chooses to live. And to Avram, this is such a blow. You grew up in my house. I took you in as an orphan, but Avram doesn't say that. And Hashem appears to Avram and promises him, all of this land is going to be yours. You will have descendants, and you will have a future. And at the end of our parsha, we have the two promises. We have the covenant, the Brit Ben Abtarim, and then we have the covenant of the circumcision, the Brit Milah. And Avram is being told, you will have this land, the land of Israel. You will have offsprings. You will have a future. Pesach night, we always sing, V'hi shamda lavosenu v'lanu. What has stood us by when everyone tries to wipe us out? That covenant at the end of our parsha, where Hashem promises Avram, you will contend with hardships, but you will come out on top. Just as people spend their life walking on sand, you are compared to sand. At the end of a person's life, the sand is on top and the person's on bottom. And that's Hashem's promise to Avram. So at the end of our Parsha, Avram takes that painful and difficult step of circumcising himself at 100 years old. His name is then changed to Avraham, the leader of all nations. His wife's name is changed from Sarai to Sarah. And based on that, we have the custom that when we circumcise our children, we also give them their names. We will continue with the story of Avraham post-circumcision next week in Parshat Vayera. See you there. Shabbat Shalom.